So, if we want to strengthen Social Security and Medicare, President Biden, we need to cut taxes, cut regulations, and promote rapid economic growth. Boy, there's a wild new thought. Joining me now is Art Laffer, former Reagan economist, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and author of the great new book, Taxes Have Consequences. You know, Art, this is kind of cool. We'll put it up on the full screen. I hope you can see it. This is, whose poll is this? Scott Rasmussen's poll. All right, 70% want a strong and growing economy. Okay, and then we scroll down. 63% agree, 25% disagree. Then we scroll down some more, and taxes and more regulations would weaken the big entitlements. 60% agree with that, only 25% disagree, including Joe Biden. So, Arthur, I'm not saying this is rocket science. I'm not even saying this is nothing you ever heard of. I'm just saying Scott Rasmussen just did the numbers, and he's a good pollster. I think we'd all agree. And it comes out exactly the reverse, because Biden is raising taxes and raising regulations. So I'm scratching my head. Help out here.
Well, I was scratching my head when you and Kevin O'Leary were talking, Larry. I just couldn't get it. You guys want to eliminate the 7 deadly tax-rich states from the polls.
Yes.
I want to eliminate them from the elections. That's what you want to do, is get them out of the elections, and we'll have a great country, just a wonderful country.
You know what?
No,
that's next.
It's not their polls.
At least take them out of the polls. I mean, if Kevin O'Leary, who's such a terribly bright guy, if he comes up with nothing more than that, he's done a great day's work. Take them out of the polls.
He's wonderful.
Yes, he's just terrific.
It was great. I loved your segment very much with him.
But
you know, I'm surprised the polls aren't even better.
Well, no, it's a very interesting point, and I'm going to talk to Scott Rasmussen and some other my polling friends, John McLaughlin, people like that, because that's quite interesting. But Arthur, on this other matter, so Scott is polling, and by an overwhelming majority, I mean like 2/3 to 3/4. Ordinary folks get it. You have to cut taxes and regulations in order to grow the economy, in order to fix the big entitlements, and Joe Biden is doing exactly the opposite.
It's totally true. And I worry, Larry, I don't worry about the Democrats because I know they're way off base. Biden is loved by them, and I mean, I just don't see any of their logic in there. I worry about the Republicans. Are they willing and are they able to carry that message to the goal line? And that's what we need right now. Now, there are some presidential candidates that we see out there that have been really good. Ted Cruz, DeSantis, Trump. They've all been really good on carrying the message. Let's hope they can take that message to the goal line and drop all this other stuff. I mean, this other stuff is just nonsense. It's just dragging us down. We're the big tent people. We should have all 70 or 80% of those people who love us come in under our tent. That's what we need, and we need a Republican leadership that can take us that direction. Full stop. Just no other issues. Just economic growth. That's the issue.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Ronald Reagan was a big tent guy, and that was kind of the backbone of the GOP for a long time. Now, Reagan was anti-establishment. You know, he was anti the swamp in Washington, D.C., absolutely campaigned against that. He was not a big country club Republican, that kind of thing. But what you say is very interesting. We've kind of lost that. I mean, and in so doing, you know, COVID and Fauci and woke and so forth, we've lost, I don't know, are we appealing to the end? We have to have a growth message and then a growth economy. And you see all these polls, Art. You know, the poll we talked about Friday, the profound pessimism about, you know, your kids' future. I mean, you have kids, you got a lot of grandkids. The polling says the future for the grandkids is no good. I mean, you can't have that. That itself is un-American. We should be optimistic and full of confidence. You know what I mean? Really confidence over-brimming in this country's future.
Yeah, I mean, and Reagan was, I don't think of him so much as an anti-something, Larry, as I think of him as pro-something. When you asked him, the thing is, don't just stand there, undo something. Deregulate, cut taxes, free trade. I mean, NAFTA was started by Ronald Reagan. Get rid of inflation. All of that was great. He was pro everything you and I believe in and have believed in from the beginning of time. And that's what we want to be, is pro-growth, not anti this, that, or the other. We are the people who give hope, who prosperity, open sunshine, make America great again. That was Reagan's slogan as well as Donald Trump's slogan, by the way. Reagan also had a morning in America. That's all upbeat, positive, good. Not like the Biden stuff, which is just sour. It makes you want to go to bed and feel sick. You want to really be uplifted. And Kennedy, by the way, as you wrote very carefully, was that way as well.
Listen, Kennedy was good. I thought Bill Clinton had his moments. He was good in certain moments.
He did. He was good at times. He was really good at times.
What's, I think, killing these polls is inflation, the cruelest tax of all, to quote John Maynard Keynes. But
yes.
Inflation, leads to high interest rates, which leads to banking crises and credit cards and mortgages and car loans. And inflation leads to unrest. People are not happy campers with inflation. And I think, you see Biden, I don't know, you saw this editorial in the story. Goldman Sachs will give them the benefit of the wisdom here that the anti-inflation bill, Inflation Reduction Act, was really 1.2 trillion. It wasn't 400 billion. It was actually 1.2 trillion. That kind of stuff, which blows up the budget, which puts pressure on the Fed, which puts more pressure on inflation, which I think makes people pessimistic. That's all I'm saying. Pessimistic.
Yeah, it does. It does. It makes them. And if you remember, Larry, coming into 1980, the race of 1980, people were really depressed. It was a very bad time in America. There was inflation building strongly up. I mean, when we came into office on January 20th, 1981, the prime interest rate in America was 21.5%, Larry. It was a really depressing time. But there was springtime. It was morning in America. Reagan came in with an op. If the Republicans would grab that agenda and stop going after these Mayorkas and these Hunter Bidens and all these people, that's not where we are. We are the positive, upbeat people that look at the good things that we can create rather than the bad things that have been done in the past. That's where we need to be, and we'll win big time. I mean, Biden is more beatable than I've ever seen any presidential candidate ever, and so is the House and the Senate. We could take everything and have that morning in America.
I'm ready. Morning in America. Art Laffer.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's all good.
I'm with
It's
you,
all
Larry.
there.
Lock arms. We go at it again. We
right.
both served with Reagan. We both served. Well, not you served with Trump.
No, you helped. Anyway,
guy
I got to
there.
go. We're getting killed.
Yeah,
Art Laffer,
you guys are great.
Thank you. Love, love.